Learning how to use lighting well is one of the best ways to make your videos look good, and that is one of the reasons why I love getting all kinds of lights of different sizes, shapes, and capabilities. Investing in lighting doesn't sound as fun as cameras or lenses, but it will have a bigger impact on your footage, which is why we're going to take a look at this new Zhiyun CF100 stick light that Zhiyun sent me to see how it can help to improve your videos. You need to have good lighting if you want to have footage that looks professional. And that doesn't mean just having enough light in your scene so that it doesn't look grainy, but the right type of light in order to shape the way your scenes look. And this CF100 LED light will definitely help with that because it has some pretty cool features. The first of which is the shape. As you can see, this is not round like so many of my other lights, which give off light in a very wide area. But because of the long shape of this, it allows you to attach something like these barn doors that actually come with the light, so that you can control the light more and keep it from spilling into unwanted areas of your scene. Now, if these barn doors themselves weren't enough for you, you could easily attach some black flags to this to control that light even more. The most common use would likely be the CCT mode that allows you to control the color temperature of the light between 2700 to 6500 Kelvin. You can double click the center button when in the CCT mode and with the pointer on the CCT icon to quickly move from one common color temperature to the next. Double pressing the center button while the pointer is on the intensity percentage allows you to quickly move from 0 to 50% to 100%. There's also a max option that when pressed while in the CCT mode will change the color temperature to 4300 Kelvin and output the highest amount of light possible. Another nice accessory that comes with the CF100 is the diffusion cover that you can attach to the barn doors. When relying on the overhead house lights while filming, her face is noticeably darker than the background, which makes her not stand out and the shot looks amateur. But by simply adding in the light stick after setting the same color temperature as the overhead lights, she now stands out from the background, along with being able to shape the light across her face to get that nice Rembrandt lighting effect. Even though it does look better, the light is still a bit harsh on her face when using just the light stick, and this is where the diffusion cover comes in handy. When using the light on subjects in close-up shots, adding the diffusion cover makes the light look a lot softer and nicer across her face. In this side-by-side comparison, you can see the direct light from the wand looks a lot harder on her skin compared to the soft accent-looking light across her face after we added the diffusion. So if you're noticing that your subject's lighting looks too harsh, then definitely add some diffusion. Aside from the CCT mode, the next main setting you have to choose from is the RGB mode. This allows you control over the hue, saturation, and intensity of the light to give you so many options of colors throughout the whole 360-degree color spectrum. Similar to the shortcuts in the CCT mode, with the pointer set to the H while in this mode, you can double-click the center button to quickly move from green to blue to red at the 120, 240, and 360 degree color settings respectively. You'll get similar shortcuts in intensity as in the CCT mode while double clicking the center button with the pointer and the S for saturation and the I for intensity. And something that I like to use this most often for is in my YouTube videos when setting up product shots. I'll typically set up a large softbox overhead in the CCT mode, then use a light like this CF100 in the RGB mode to have some blue or red accent lights on the product from various angles. Another quick scene we set up to show how this mode could be used in a film is when the driver gets out of a car to look at the back of the car after possibly hearing something strange while driving. As he moves around to the back of the car and looks around and then gets his phone out to make a call, you can see that we used the red setting on the light to provide more light to the face to give an interesting look that makes it seem like that light would be coming from the taillight of the car. And with so many ways that you could use just that RGB mode on a light like this to enhance your shots, all you have to do is get creative in the planning process to make your scenes look that much better. So let me know down in the comments if you can think of any other unique shots where the color modes of this light would come in handy. The final mode you have available with this light gives you many options in various scene effects. The first gives off a rolling change of the color spectrum. The next is these lights that move back and forth across the light. It looks cool like a video game, but I'm not really sure exactly what you would use this mode for, so let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for it. Next up is this growing intensity of light that changes through many colors that I could see being used for some background lights of maybe signs changing or something like that. Next up are some small lights moving back and forth across the light stick, similar to what we saw previously. Next, we have many multicolored lights popping up and disappearing, which reminded me a lot of the skyline at nighttime when looking out of a high-story hotel room window in Hong Kong or New York City. We took the light outside of a window to show what that could look like if someone was walking up to their window in a hotel in a city where there are many billboards changing colors. The last few are a bit harder to see on camera, but they're basically combinations of multiple colors streaming across the light at various speeds and intensities. But aside from those, we have a few more modes that can definitely come in handy. The first is the SOS mode. As the name implies, the CF100 flashes the light in an SOS Morse code pattern. Next up we have the TV mode, which can come in handy when shooting a scene of people watching a TV. I've ran into problems with TV shooting before. When trying to shoot with the TV actually on, it can be difficult to get your exposure right because you don't know what the TV is going to be doing. But using a light with a setting like this will allow you to be able to control the light while still getting the effect you want. Next up is the faulty bulb mode. I could see this setting being useful for some kind of creepy scene where someone's going into a building where the lights are flickering to add to that anticipation or suspense. Next up is the candle mode, where I could see you using the light to mimic something like the flame at a candlelit dinner while a couple is on a date somewhere. Then we have the lightning effect mode, which I wasn't too impressed with on this light because from what I could tell, it's just a constant flashing at the same intensity and interval, which almost makes it seem more like a paparazzi camera mode. I've used other lights in the past that vary the amount of flashing and intensity to make it look more realistic, like we did for this scene in a previous video. And finally, we have the fire mode, which could be used to mimic the light from a bonfire, someone seeing a fire from far off, or like we did here with the girls reading a book in front of the fireplace with a simulated fire going. The light did a good job of varying the intensity of the light emitted, and I was able to use the barn doors again to shape how much light spill I got onto the lower portion of the couch and the ceiling. The light has 6 internal rechargeable batteries that can be charged via a USB-C cable or a DC power port. Once fully charged, the batteries will last nearly 2.5 hours when at 50% intensity, or an hour and 6 minutes at 100%, aside from that max mode, which will only last for 31 minutes. You can also operate the light while attached to external power so that you don't run out of battery while filming. The CF100 also has an integrating cooling system that enables the stick light to deliver that exceptional high brightness fill lighting like when in the max mode. If you've ever used lights at high power, you'll know that they can get hot very quickly, and this cooling system helps to keep the light from overheating and extends its operational life. You can get all these features in the Zhiyun CF100 stick light for only $180, and you can purchase it on Amazon or the Zhiyun store, both of which are linked below, along with the discount code if you decide to purchase through their store. If you have any questions about this light or just about lighting in general, feel free to post them down in the comments and I'll try to help you out the best I can there. But please hit that like button if this video is helpful, and subscribe if you're new to get more content. Be sure to check out more because I have a lot of videos teaching things like lighting, framing, we got camera settings, scene breakdowns, and a whole lot of other techniques that will help you to improve in your filmmaking. So I will hopefully see you soon.